Yeah, welcome to the dojo, baby, man. Have no fear, TyKwonDoe is here, man. We in the dojo, baby. We got a deep video today, an introspective video today, a deep topic for the day, a topic which is so thrown around and a word that is just so used, and these people don't really overstand or understand what they're talking about, and that is assertiveness, right? Assertiveness, dominance, all these things which when you came to the internet, you were looking at topics and you were looking at people break it down and explain it, and they're telling you what they think assertiveness looks like. They don't know how assertiveness feels or where it comes from. Dominance, confidence, all of these topics they talk about because they don't understand what they're saying. So you will watch a video and you'll be like, well, I just looked up assertiveness and confidence, and it didn't change anything of how I feel about myself. It only changed how I think about confidence and assertiveness. But see, in this video, guess what? I'm about to reshape your mind when it comes to being assertive, being confident in anything you want to be. So starting with the very beginning of the topic is assertiveness. I call assertiveness and confidence, they're cousins basically to me. They all come from what? Trust in self. So if you're looking at this video, right, and you're like, okay, I want to be more assertive with women, I want to be more confident with women, you're thinking too small, right? Because true assertiveness, true confidence is not just a singular category of I'm confident woman and I'm assertive with women, yet I lack this in other areas of my life. You see, because game has nothing to do with women. Game has everything to do with yourself. Because it is the same game that will allow you to approach that woman and make her interested in you, that will get you a job during a job interview, that will network you and get your name around at any social event and organization. It is that same game which will take an elevator conversation and make a person say, I really like this guy, I really trust this guy, let's talk more. And not just on the level of women, like I said, business, anything. It is the same game. So let's get into it, right? Let's start with assertiveness. Why do I say assertiveness is trust in self? Why do I say confidence comes from trust in self? Let's go down the rabbit hole. Follow me, because by the end of this video, I swear to God, you're gonna walk around like this. You're gonna walk around feeling like Timothy Chalamet, Hemi Turner, Hemi Neutron, Him Jong-un. You're gonna feel like him. And if you are a girl watching this video, if you're a woman, a lady, you're gonna feel like the fucking queen. You're gonna feel like her. You know what I'm saying? So, and I must get a disclaimer because, you know, as we grow, and a lot of people do realize my advice does not just apply to men. My advice just does not apply to specific situations to where you use my advice in another circumstance and it folds, it breaks. My advice is adaptable. You know why? Because it comes from trust and self. So let's get into it, right? When I say assertiveness is trust in self, or assertiveness comes from trust in self, assertiveness, confidence, poise, or your demeanor is only raindrops in the thunderstorm, wind from the tornado. Because when you trust yourself, being assertive when dealing with that woman, being confident when approaching her, is only a situation, a circumstance, or a scenario where you are trusting yourself. As I said, it's the same game that will get you that job. It's the same game that will allow you to introduce yourself at a social event and network and go around. Why? Because the circumstance, the situation, the challenge does not make or break you. You trust yourself through it all. You have the trust to go and do it, regardless of knowing whether it's new, whether you know you can do it. You trust that you'll do it. So how does that lead to you being assertive? Because let me give you an example. If you can't tell yourself what to do, if you don't trust yourself, how can she trust you? Why would she listen to someone or follow someone or believe in someone who does not believe, trust, or listen to themselves? You can't tell yourself what to do. How can you tell her what to do? And guess what? Let me give you an example, because your mind might be stuck on the fact of you dealing with that girl. Let me give you a bigger example. Let's say I'm the king of some land, right? And I have people as the king. And let's say I go on stage and, you know, it's a public communion assembly or some shit, right? And I'm up there and I'm saying, I think, I can't, I don't know, maybe, as these people and as my people are listening to me, what do you think they're gonna say? Just because I'm using these weak words, which show how I trust myself and how I believe in myself. What does that say about the people who are behind me? I shouldn't be behind this guy. I shouldn't be following him. Oh, whoa. Because this is a guy who's comfortable not knowing, comfortable doubting and living in fear and thinking. And people don't choose those kind of people as leaders. People don't follow those kind of people. Those people have no assertiveness, no dominance, no confidence, because they don't even believe in themselves. You see, when I talk to y'all about topics like charisma, seduction, and charm and all these things, a lot of these things I told y'all came from within, because when we're looking at something like charisma, that is an energy which, as you're interacting with others, you're smiling, you're happy, you're talking. People look at you, observe you, and it makes them feel some kind of way. The same thing with assertiveness and confidence. Because you trust yourself so much, she's gonna look at you and say, oh, I can fall into his arms with my eyes closed. He got me. Not because you promised this to her, but because she sees how serious you are in yourself, how much you trust you. How can I not trust you? If you are a person who willing to walk in the fucking dark with his eyes closed and come out strong, damn. Who wouldn't follow? Who wouldn't get behind a person like that? We use words like courage, you know, confidence, assertiveness, dominance, all these different words, but not understanding where they come from and how they make other people feel. Because another coach might have tried to break down to you assertiveness and confidence, and they might have talked to you about what confidence looks like. Oh yeah, you know, deep tone of voice, strong, clear talking, but how does assertiveness feel? If I'm talking to a girl and I tell her to come here, it's a difference between if I tell her to come here and I think I'm scared to say it and I think I want her to come here, versus the come here that says I have something to say, or the come here that says I have something to do. It's two types of come heres. All because from within how I felt when I said it, and what I knew and what I trusted myself when I said it. It's natural. And this is why I never been with the whole fake it till you make it thing, because when pressure comes, that's when people get exposed. When pressure comes, that's when people either fold or bend but don't break, and they come back stronger. So what you choose to do and how much you trust yourself shows what you will put yourself through, what you will test yourself with, and how you will carry yourself and interact with the world. And from the perspective of a woman, from the perspective of your siblings, your family, your children, they're gonna look at how much you trust yourself and decide whether they should trust you. They're gonna look at how much you trust yourself and decide whether they should listen to you. Whether you're the kind of person who can lead them, whether you're the kind of person they can follow. Because ultimately, when somebody chooses to follow you, to let you lead them, and to let you tell them what to do, they have to feel that they're safer or better off doing that than doing it on their own. And why the would I look at somebody with who feels weak, who doesn't trust themselves, doubt themselves, or believe in themselves, and say, "Oh yeah, I'll put myself in their hands." You ain't moving like Allstate. Why would I follow you? So now listen. I had to spend this time talking about it because y'all might not understand why you lack assertiveness, why you lack confidence. Because you don't understand how someone can look at you and judge whether they should follow you or listen to you. So I hope I made that clear. Then the next thing I'm going to go into, you're going to say, well, you keep talking about trusting yourself, you keep talking about believing yourself, you keep talking about assertive, confidence, and dominance. How can I improve that? Well, listen, W promo, of course. On the Patreon, I talk a lot about self-image. That's a lot of exclusive videos on Patreon, which have topics I've never talked about on YouTube. And you can get a one-on-one session, DMs, method, like whatever you want on Patreon, it's on there. I'll make sure that that investment in yourself is worth your time and your money. But for the sake of going into what I can go into without repeating myself in this video, you build trust in yourself by listening. Knowingly accepting the consequences of who you are. And that's deeper than it sounds. Meaning, just like I said, the reason your confidence will be adaptable and it will carry over in different circumstances, challenges, and situations is because you'll have your back, you'll ride with you, right or wrong, wet or dry, tall or short, cold or hot, slow or fast. You will ride by you, you'll die on you. Because you're all you got, and you're all you need. But if you need something without yourself and not something within yourself, your foundation, your strength comes from, puppet strings, but you feel good as a puppet because you're happy. For example, I'll give you an example. A woman chooses you, a woman gives you validation, or you're a woman, a man gives you validation, a man chooses you, it makes you feel good. And the moment that this person cuts those strings or takes that away or does the opposite, you go up and you go down. You feel good and you feel bad. There isn't a single person who can do that for me. Because you know why? Because they never gave me that feeling. They can improve that feeling, but they're not the reason I have it. I trust myself. I believe in myself. I love myself. So when it comes to the impact another person has on my life, I am very, very keen, observant, and selective about how I let other people impact me. Because whether or not they can give me my strength, my love, or my confidence in self, they can damn sure bring a bad fruit to a good tree. They'll sink a ship if you let them. But this is the kind of confidence I have in myself to know I can't be around everybody. I'm not going to force somebody to love themselves. I'm not going to force somebody to believe in themselves. This all is coming from how I trust myself. I trust myself enough to be careful with myself, to treat myself right. So the point I'm making this is, how are you caring about yourself that tells yourself that you'll put you first? We can't even get to self-confidence and self-trust if we not even on the level of self-love. And what comes with that? Who are you willing to cut off? Who are you willing to separate yourself from? Who are you willing to stop talking to? What are you willing to stop watching? What are you willing to stop doing for you? For you. Because you got to be there for yourself. And the moment you start building up this self-love, this self-care, is when you really start to trust yourself. Because guess what? You are now building and becoming something you are proud of, and something you believe in, something you what? Trust. All through self-care. So then when you deal with that woman, you're not coming from a position of, I want her to like me. I need her to want me. How do I make her do this? And how do I make that? You don't even force that because you don't need it. And guess what? Your whole frame of mind is positioned differently. Because in that state of mind, you're looking at yourself as some sort of as you're looking at her, or if you're a girl, you're looking at him as some sort of a prize or a trophy to a win for yourself. But see, when you come from the place of self-love, self-care, and putting yourself first, you know that dealing with a person, no matter how good looking they are, no matter how much money they got, they can still ruin your life. They can still take away your energy. They can still have an impact on you, which costs more than what you see that they have to offer. And guess what? You won't do that when you love yourself. So the example I give guys a lot of times is I say, the more game you have, the more woman you can get, but you don't want the same woman. You don't anymore. That's the crazy part about game. The more game you get, obviously the more woman you can get, but you don't even want the same woman because you done elevated mentally to another. Y'all don't even compliment each other as y'all used to. You don't even want the same one. You don't. What satisfied you before doesn't satisfy you anymore. You think completely different. So going into that state of mind of wanting somebody to want you, it's like I can tell as dealing with this stuff. As soon as somebody asks a certain question, I can read 10 things from that question. She didn't text me back. So like, how do I make her jealous? And how do I make her? Just already from that question, you in that state of mind just told me a million things about you. A million things. Because guess what? If I go into the mindset of somebody who loves themselves, puts themselves first and what's best for them, they wouldn't even ask that. They wouldn't even question it. They would already be doing what's best for them, regardless of the consequence. And they would trust their decision no matter how they feel. Because they've thought about their feelings and they've felt their thoughts. That is emotional intelligence and self-awareness. It's deep. And I can keep getting deeper. This video could be 2 hours long if I wanted it to. 2 hours long. Because y'all don't understand. I want y'all to understand how deep these words are, how much these things mean. And really, it's simple. It seems deep, but it's simple. So you might have been trying to figure out how to be more assertive. What can you'll think what you say makes it assertive. You'll say, what can I say? Or how should I word it? But when you naturally trust yourself, you already know what to say. You already know how to say it. Because you don't have to fake it or try it. It's something that you are. You see, being assertive is not something I try to be. It's something I am. Why? Because it's merely a raindrop from the thunderstorm, wind from the tornado. It comes with me. That assertiveness I have, the dominance, the confidence I have, it just is a part of me. It's shoelaces to my shoes. It ain't something I'm trying to be, it's something I am. So how do you become that? As I said in the video, pay attention. You might need to watch it twice. You might need to go back to the drawing board, take 5 steps back to take 10 steps forward. This is how it is in the dojo. We ain't giving y'all the basic game, the basic advice, the basic pointers. It's deep. We think deep. We go deep, not wide. We play for the win. You in the dojo, you talking to the sensei, this is what we on here. So if you want to go somewhere else and have somebody tell you what to do, copy what somebody does, go somewhere else by all means. But I don't have a community of people who I want to be dependent on me. I want them to be dependent on themselves. They can still respect me and choose to listen to me and choose to follow me and choose to support me. But my ultimate goal is for them to say, I am him, I am her. Whatever you are watching my videos, I want you to ultimately say, I got it. And still be strong enough to listen. Because as much as I trust myself, as much as I make decisions for myself and accept the consequences that come with my choices, and trust that, I still know how to listen to advice. I still know how to ask for advice. I still know that I don't know. And when I don't know. This does not scare me. This gives me strength. Because guess what? I'm the type of person to figure it out. Whatever that looks like. That's why I trust myself. Because I know and I know I don't know. And I know that I know that I know and I know that I know that I don't know. That's deep. I'm just saying these things and you might look at it as like, what is he talking about? It's alright. You ain't. What's understood don't need to be explained. Welcome to the dojo, baby. Dojo to the moon, to Saturn, and we're leaving the solar system. The limps won't even know we exist, baby.